Welcome back to the channel. Exploring with Mike. I'm going to start a little video series on the CRF 250X 2006 model that I've been riding, working on. Done a little bit to it already, but a few more changes coming. Today we're going to be replacing the Enduro Engineering more roost guard because it's plastic. We're going to put on some of the ProBend wraparounds. Just came in the mail. Red, full wraparound aluminum. I believe the CRM is for center reach mount. It goes a little bit further in to clear the electric start and stuff on these CRMX models. So I'll get all this old stuff off, start putting the new stuff on and see how it lines up. Four T20 bolts that are holding this one together here. Get those popped off real quick, and everything should come right apart. Gonna have to loosen up the brake perch on that one the way that it's sandwiched in there. That's part of the clearance issues I was talking about. This electric start takes up so much handlebar room. It's hard to get any clamps in here, but we should be able to move the new ones into the middle a little bit more. All right, got the Enduro Engineering flags off of there. Next thing, got these aluminum handlebar caps. Looks like probably a 4mm Allen. Get those out. And then because those were already on the bike, we don't have to, that one was loose. We won't have to cut the grips. They've already been cut for that, so that one doesn't feel like it's even in there. Oh, got that one out already. See if the other one's gonna fit in that throttle tube or if we're gonna have to drill that out a little bit. It's not a very straight cut that they made for the last part. I'll get that one off there and start mocking up the new stuff. I got the bike put up on the stand there. That way we can look at it all while it's level here. And get these mocked up here where we want them at. And like I was saying, it'll go a lot further in on the handlebar. Those brackets will be down here below the bar brace there and help with clearance on that electric start and everything that these CRMX have on them. So the tools you're going to need for this, I got a T-handle with a 8mm, move my levers around, reroute the cables. I got 4mm Allen, 6mm Allen, Phillips number 2, and then a JIS number 2 for some of the bike screws that were on there. So one thing you'll notice, this kit comes with a couple different mounting options. For the end of the bars, for your 1 1/8". If you've got fat bars, it'll work for the end mounts. And then same thing here, you have a small, a medium, and a large way of mounting into your handlebars. I gotta check, but I think we're gonna be using one of these two. Check it on this side. Yeah, it's gonna be the smallest option. So these are just factory 7/8 bars. So we'll put this in through the mount, and you want to make sure this gnarled side is in. Is this kind of funnel looking piece there pushes that part right here, spread it and hold it in your bars. So you don't want it going in this part of the tube in. You want the slices going into the bar, and then snug it up about hand tight before we put it in there, and that way when you're turning this bolt, it's already got some tension to suck it in. So we'll get that mocked up real quick. So get it started flush there and just snug it up to make sure it's not spinning. That is a 6mm Allen. So get that end in there, snugged up a little bit. I like to leave it all loose until we get everything lined up, just so you're not fighting yourself. We'll get them put on there, get my center mount put in there real quick and get it lined up. Kind of figure out what angle we want it at. Start tightening stuff down. Well, we got clutch side all mocked up. I did find out that black spacer is not for the fat bars. That's the spacer that goes here. I guess it came with this bolt in there and no spacer, and then the spacer and the larger bolt. I'm assuming on certain handlebar curves you wouldn't need that spacer there, but mine had that much of a gap, so it's pretty obvious where that goes. And then just figured out on this side, if you put this outer bracket on 180 degrees, the bolts don't line up with the holes. So it is directional, but it's very obvious which way it's supposed to go. So get that switched over real quick and mock it up the right way. Had to pull my handlebar pad off there to access these top two bolts, but get that all mocked up. And it looked like it was gonna clear the throttle tube good, so just leave a little bit of a gap there where it's got plenty of clearance off the end of the grip. Got both sides kind of mocked up where I think I want them. Before I tighten everything, I'm gonna go ahead and put the plastic flags on there just so I can get up on the bike, make sure that's where I want everything at. No clearance issues. Took this one back off, routed these cables underneath so it sticks up a little less. I did have to drop my number plate down so that I could get access to these inner bolts, get them snugged up. I've got these pretty much tightened down. These ones are almost torqued, and then these are still kind of loose so I can twist a little bit. But I get these fronts and the side plastics put on. They take these little black screws and washers. There's no nut. These are kind of like self-tappers. They've got that groove in there, and they just thread into the aluminum. There's no threads in there. I guess it cuts threads as it goes in, so you want to make sure they're lined up pretty straight when you drive them in. I'll get them all started by hand and then hit them all with a little impact to make sure. So these three go on with the bolt and the washer, and then the side plate doesn't get a washer, just a bolt. It curls around there. Get that tightened up to suck it in. It was a little bit warped, but it lined up good. I'll get that one finished up, get that one on, and then I'll make sure my level's where I want it. Start tightening everything down. All right, there we go. Got them all mounted up on there. Got the number plate back where it goes. Everything put together, tightened up, and got my levers back where I want them. So that's how you put on those ProBend CRM full wrap handguards. If you're wondering, that's the part number right there. And this was on a 2005 CRF 250X. So anyways, that was the handguard install there. Like I said, a lot better than what I had with the plastic, so have a little more protection if you drop the bike there, which some of the trails I'm riding, that's definitely a concern lately. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a like or subscribe to the channel. It helps us out a bunch. And stay tuned for more. Appreciate you watching.